Today, I want to talk about some more of the gender affirming care for children. I've been watching videos and there's so much to talk about. This thing has so many rabbit holes. But the one that I have not heard anybody else go down is the one I'm going to tell you. We'll just call it fiction. Am I a psycho or am I psychic? We don't know. Time will only tell. But I was watching videos a couple weeks ago and I came across David Icke. Very interesting. He's a sci-fi writer, and he had some visions of reptilians taking over the earth. And I thought, well, that's interesting. And I have the Vonage manual, and I thought, I wonder if it has anything to do with the Vonage manual. So I went and got my Vonage manual, and there are dragons in there. And I made a small video, and I'm going to put it at the end of this so you can click on it. But I thought that was very interesting. And then today I was watching the lady Melanie Phillips. She used to work for The Guardian back in the 80s. And she's talking about changes that she's seen happen since then. And this goes back a long ways. They've really been working on getting into the schools and, getting to the children for a while, and they've worked it out perfectly. I can only imagine how gleeful the people that are putting this together are with how easy it is for them. Who would have thought that they could make sex-changing children accepted, welcome, even a joy in life? Well, I don't agree that it's a joy. I don't think it's going to be a joy. I think that doing that to elementary children is wrong. And I think giving them puberty blockers is wrong. And I think giving them gender affirming operations is wrong. I don't think adults should be doing it because the way I see it, if they hadn't started doing it, that's who's coming after the children. Regardless of whatever you want to say, the trans ideology is coming after the children. We've all heard it. We're here, we're queer, we're coming for your kids, or whatever it was. Well, I have one for you. I'm straight. I'm here. I'm straight. Anyways, it is the trans that are coming for the children. So I am past the point of being agreeable for it being for adults at this point, because the adults we're talking about are people that are put on puberty blockers when they're children and their minds have not matured. I learned that your mind does not mature when you do not go through puberty. You don't get that adult brain. You stay the mind of a child. And from what I'm seeing, I would say I have to agree. But my other concern is, and I feel bad for them. I feel like they've been sold a bad bill of goods, or however that saying goes. And so, at a Catholic school, I just saw the protest outside the Catholic school. They're teaching this at the Catholic school. The Catholics don't even want people on birth control, but they're okay with gender affirming care, and they're teaching it in their colleges. Okay, so I have my answers. I know where the churches stand. I'm also wondering, where's Nancy Grace on this issue? I'm on her Facebook. I haven't heard she hasn't said a word about anything about gender affirming care for children. And she's one of the big, save the children people. I just don't understand. So I want my voice heard. I know a lot of people are not watching my videos, and, that's okay. I want it down. I want to be like Edgar Casey. I want my predictions down. I want them down in print. Well, they're going to be down in video. So my thought is, when I was watching this Melanie, I'm going to link the videos to her and the David Icke ones. I'm going to make a new playlist with the videos that I'm watching so that you can go watch them and see what I'm talking about. I think that would be the easiest for me at this point. And I think that as I watch them, I'm just going to put them right on the playlist. And then if I talk about them, fine. And if I don't, they'll be there. You can watch them because this is all very, very important. We are in a war. We are on a psychological war for the very minds and the very souls of the children of this earth, at least in the Western world. So I was watching this lady, Melanie, and I'm not sure what she said, but it clicked into my mind. I know what they're going to do, or I know what they could do. And I hope I'm not giving them the idea. This is what I think is going on. I think that they have been doing this for a long time, maybe since World War II, where they learned a lot of science about the human body back then. It was bad. That's how they learned. I think that's how we got a lot of our advances. Anyways, however far back it goes, I don't know. But my thought is, I know from my life back in the early 80s, late 70s, when IVF was first coming out, that's when I kind of first remember hearing about it. And, a lot of people are able to have babies, thankfully, to that wonderful invention. But when I was watching this show, I started thinking, well, what do they do with the leftovers? Because I know they have leftover eggs, and I know that they pay young men to donate their sperm. They'll pay them, and so what do they do with the extras? I know they can freeze it. I know people can buy it off the internet. Not that, it's pretty common, not that hard to do. I've not done it, but I've heard of people doing it. So, and I know that when the IVF has extra embryos, the parents would sign a paper saying if it should be destroyed if they don't need it, or donate it to another couple, or donate it to medical research. And it also says it would not be used to, grow a human out of that embryo. But I believe they'll just change the rules. I believe that they've changed the rules on gender and sex, and I don't care if they say gender is different than sex. It's not. If they want to say gender is your expression of yourself, well, that's you accessorizing yourself. That doesn't have anything to do with your physical body and whether you're a boy or a girl. I've been a woman my whole life, and there's times that I don't feel like anything, but I still know I'm a girl. Okay, back to the story. This stuff is just I cannot believe how many parents are okay with it. I believe they've been brainwashed with all the antidepressants in the world. What do they have to be depressed about? Their kids changing their sex? Here, have an antidepressant. I don't know how it's happening, but it's changing their brains, changing the way they think. That's what I believe. Anyways, so back to the IVF embryos. So I believe that they would just change the rules. They could just in 20 years going, oh, we have all of these saved in storage, like Walt Disney's brain. Disney's very woke. They have all of these embryos in storage. I think they're saving them up so eventually when they get the younger generations to not want to have children, not want to have a parent, not want to be a part of a family other than their chosen family, not a birth family with a mother and a father, I think that they'll have the people that have no connections like that to family to raise these embryos, and they'll all be raised as slaves. They will raise people now like we raise chickens. Some will be raised from birth to be maids. Some will be raised to be pilots. Some will be raised to be farmers. Everybody will have their place in life and they won't question it. I think this is the you will have nothing and you will be happy thing comes up with. I don't even think that people will have their brains. I don't think that they'll be able to look back and at the opportunities that we have to grow up, to become an adult, and then make the decision to have a child, or even having a child when you're a teen. Whatever the case, the opportunity to have a child and the mindset to to know what kind of a decision you're making. A decision you make at fourth grade is a lot different than you're going to make when you're 20. And the decisions that you make when you are 20, you would make the whole different decision when you're 40. Not everything, but the big things, there's things that you would want to go back and change. And once you change from a boy to a girl or a girl to boy, there's no going back. So they can't stop their side of the war. They can't. The parents that have done this to the children, their own children, they can't go back and go, I've made a terrible mistake. I'm sure when their kids get older and are screaming at them, how did you, find it okay to do this to me? Anyways, I think the parents have been brainwashed, but I think they want to raise the embryos. Pretty soon they'll just have embryos. They'll have breeder people. That's where they'll get their eggs and their sperm from, and nobody will know this way of life. Maybe it's another Tartania about the Cabbage Patch Babies. And, I really think you should watch those too. I'm going to attach his as well. And that's why I think that people need to speak up. I hear on other channels, everybody needs to speak up. And I believe that's true. That's why I am here speaking up. I know that I'm in disguise, but I still want to use my voice. I don't feel safe doing it without a disguise. I wish that I did, but I don't. And, you can do this too. It's Halloween. Get a mask. I think I'm going to get a few more so I can be outspoken. And this is part of a war. You need to go over and watch Carlin Borsinkio's YouTube channel. She gets she infiltrates in the private meetings of the Marxists, and that is what we're up against. And then also you should watch the Court of the EDI Jester, Barry. He's shouting from the rooftops too. Stop, this is madness. It seems like there was one more thing I was going to say. Go watch those channels. Oh, I remember. Somebody else did a secret infiltration Zoom call of the people that were going to the Canada March for Children. They call each other Comrade. And Carlin talked about them calling each other something like Comrade too. It might have been Comrade. I guess it probably was, but I can't remember exactly. If you want to help save the children and save the future, of our species being what it is now, and it's pretty nice up until you get a sex change. I don't think it's nice after that. You don't want a medicalized child. Look at the people in chronic pain. They're getting all their pain medications taken away from them. You think that this isn't going to happen to these, the trans people? They're going to at some point go, this is damaging your body. You've got to come off of this. And then they'll take you off. That's what they always do. And the doctors, what? You good doctors need to start speaking out a little more and saying, this is not right. This is not do no harm. This is doing massive harm to their bodies and to their minds and to their very souls and to their parents. We are in a war. Nobody's going to change it. We have to use our voices and change it ourselves. You just have to speak out. Speak up. Yeah, okay. That's it. I'm going to link those in a playlist and you can go watch them. They're very interesting. All right. I'll see you next time. I know I'll have more to say, and I have a lot to say. This thing just has so many rabbit holes. Every time you turn around, there's something new crazy going on. Canada with the Nazi guy. It doesn't seem like just any Tom, Dick, and Harry can waltz in there and get a special mention. They should have just known. I would think, now me, I'm not a military person. I wasn't raised in a military family. I don't know everything about war, but I'm thinking people up in the government, shouldn't they know? Shouldn't they have at least thought, oh, he fought the Russians in that time period. Oh, that wasn't our side. No, they don't think about anything. That's why I'm saying, it's up to us to still have a brain and still want to save the children, literally save the species, because maybe it has something to do with the Vonage. Maybe this has been planned since the 1300s. I don't know. At this point, they say you can change girls to boys and boys to girls. I say anything's possible. Anything is possible. Am I psycho or am I psychic? I don't know. We'll see. But I do know that we are in a battle for humanity. And leave a comment. I guess if you like and leave a comment, it makes the videos go further. And maybe somebody else will hear my little voice over here saying, no, stop. We don't want this. Society does not want this. You cannot force something upon society that society does not want. And I also want to say, if they don't stop it in 20 years when everything is different and all of these people have extreme mental problems, you think we're in debt now, and the homeless and the people on the streets, and it's going to be way worse. So I guess that if their side is in the war and they got to slam down the hammer harder, now's the time to they're going to do it. Okay, that's it. Almost 16 minutes. Bye.